Okay, so Cassie's back. Okay. So here's something that really probably is long overdue and I really need to discuss. Okay. So as everyone knows, I'm out here in the South, right? Okay. So came out here, got this little spot anyway. So I had a neighbor, okay, and his name, they call him Keith. So I'm putting it out there. They call him Kojak or whatever, right? This motherfucker was starting to tell everybody in the neighborhood that him and I was having sex or doing something. What? Okay, so I didn't know. So how it all came about, right? You know, and I guess there was a few people that had heard about it or whatever, but was late telling me. Okay, so that kind of pissed me off. But first of all, it didn't happen. And he was my neighbor, right? So I'm like, well, okay, so I guess he had this mean crush on me fantasy or whatever. So I'm doing business with this other guy. And in a nutshell, he was like, I can't really do the business with you. He says, because you kind of, such and such is your boyfriend. So I'm like, nigga, who's my boyfriend? You know me. I'm quick with that shit, right? And he was like, well, he says that, he's sleeping with you. And he said, the thing is that he's a snitch. And I don't trust him or whatever. So, and if you're sleeping with him, he said, I don't care because that's, ain't nothing going on between me and him. But he was like, I can't do business. He says, because, if something goes left, then it's going to go left. So I said, well, who said that? This nigga says, Keith said it, Kojak. This deformed looking motherfucker. So I got him, the other two guys together, right? And then I said, okay, so when did we do this? When? What day? At my house, your house, doggy style, what my pussy look like? Tell me. He couldn't say shit, right? So he said, he basically, punked out, and he was just like, yeah, I made it up. So the other guy, it was so funny. He was like, this could have got real ugly. With all that said, I had to clear my name, first of all, and if you see this guy, he looks like a motherfucking Ninja Turtle, and, yeah, so my ghetto ass, I went all the way to the Dollar Tree, where I knew where his girlfriend, worked at, and I was wondering why she was being kind of funky with me or whatever. I went up there, I'm on the loudspeaker, she wasn't even there at work, I had all the people there call her at work, was talking shit in the store or whatever, and I guess they got into a big old fight and argument. I said, okay, but now we clear, right? How you gonna say you messed with me when you didn't mess with me? And it was kind of going around because you know how in a little small town you could hear whispers and stuff, and every so often, I'm a little paranoid ass. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Come to find out, this nigga Kojak was saying he was sleeping with me. Nah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And the guy was like, motherfucker, had you been a little tender in your feelings and shit, things could have went down or whatever, and it wouldn't have ended well. And I'm like, well, thank God that, the other, gentleman had enough sense to go, wait a minute. And I'm so glad he said, wait a minute. So shout out to him. So yeah.